Koto te whānau o Auckland Unitarians. Te koto ngā manahiri. No mai, hire mai. Hire mai ki tene hui. Te koto te tato katoa.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Well, welcome to version 2 of our virtual morning tea, and this lovely group of Auckland Unitarians. We're delighted you came back. Well, if you have a candle or a chalice, it's time to have a virtual chalice lighting. And you'll be on mute now until we're ready for breakouts. In sightless night, terrors draw near. Nameless fears of talon and tooth, hopelessness yawns before us, an abyss. Alone and unknown in the gloom, longing for the dawn. O sacred flame, blaze forth, wisdom brought to life. Guide us with the light of hope, the warmth of love, the beacon of purpose and meaning, because we are all afraid of the dark. Let there be light. Well, now for my opening words and random musings. My opening words are from Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Harry Potter is asked by his Aunt Petunia, "Why are you lurking under our window?" Yes, good point, Petunia. "What were you doing under our windows, boy?" demanded his uncle. "Listening to the news," said Harry in a resigned voice. His aunt and uncle exchanged looks of outrage. "Listening to the news again?" "Well, it changes every day, you see," said Harry. I don't know about you, but during this time, no one alive has ever experienced before. It feels like the news changes every hour. Trying to keep up with the horror of the virus that shall not be named is exhausting. So last week, I took time to escape into fantasy, my favorite literary genre. I binge watched all 7 of the Harry Potter movies. I was enchanted with Harry Potter's world from the very first book, published 23 years ago. I eagerly awaited each new volume, swallowing them whole in one sitting, not unlike Lord Voldemort's basilisk. That did become more difficult as books grew longer, the longest being 870 pages. When the audiobooks came out, I listened to all of them. And of course, I went to see all the films in the theater. Considering my vocation, I have always appreciated this interchange in Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code. These books can't possibly compete with centuries of established history, especially when that history is endorsed by the ultimate bestseller of all time. Bachman's eyes went wide. Don't tell me Harry Potter is actually about the Holy Grail. I was referring to the Bible. Sir, Faulkner cringed. I knew that. Though, while there are some shared similarities, Harry Potter is not about the Holy Grail. I see these 3 major themes that might be helpful during this present pandemic. Stephen King sees the major theme as confronting our fears. This is depicted by the fact that the whole in that the whole society in the series fears Voldemort. They fear even speaking his name, instead calling him you know who. There are only two people who do not fear Voldemort, Harry Potter and the headmaster at Hogwarts, Albus Dumbledore. Harry's lack of fear for the Dark Lord is symbolized by how he always takes his name when referring to him. While Dumbledore dies due to unpredictable consequences, Harry survives and finally vanquishes the Dark Lord. There were wizards and witches more skilled than Harry, but they failed to end Voldemort's reign as they feared him. The second overarching theme is captured in this moment in the last book. Finally, the truth, lying with his face pressed into the dusty carpet of the office, where he had once thought he was learning the secrets of victory. Harry understood at last that he was not supposed to survive. J.K. Rowling observed, "My books are largely about death. They open with the death of Harry's parents. There is Voldemort's obsession with conquering death and his quest for immortality at any price, the goal of anyone with magic. I so understand why Voldemort wants to conquer death. We're all frightened of it. However, throughout the series, it becomes clear that death is not something to fear, but life's next big adventure, according to Rowling. The third theme is expressed by Dumbledore when he tells Harry to have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever. Love is described as one of the only things that can conquer the dark arts and even death, evident in his mother's sacrifice. When she died to save her son, it created an ancient spell which protected Harry when he was hit with the killing curse and making him the boy who lived. When Harry died to save his friends and allies at the final battle with Voldemort, his sacrifice saved them and made them untouchable to Voldemort's terrifying Death Eaters. Love always plays a notable part in helping us to tip the favor in the side of good. Harry's ability to love and be loved is a defining difference between him and Voldemort. Harry builds up friendships, a sort of support system of friends that Voldemort could never hope to match. Excuse me. But it is not always easy. Exhausted by his battles with death, Harry has a tanty in Dumbledore's office. "I don't care," Harry yelled at them, snatching up a lunoscope and throwing it in the fireplace. "I've had enough. I've seen enough. I want out. I want it to end. I don't care anymore." "You do care," said Dumbledore. He had not flinched or made a single move to stop Harry demolishing his office. His expression was calm, almost detached. "You care so much, you feel as though you will bleed to death with the pain of it." I find it interesting how life's circumstances change how we interpret our world and ourselves. As familiar as I am with these stories, viewing them through the lens of being locked down in a pandemic brought to light a couple of other sub-themes I had not identified before. The first is the theme of denial. The whole wizardry world thought Voldemort was dead after his failure to kill the infant Harry. It was Harry who knew that it was not true and said so. He encountered Voldemort's weaker self as he sought to regain his former power. The Ministry of Magic declared Harry public enemy number one for saying so and sought his arrest. Even his Hogwarts classmates looked at him askance. The media supported the ministry, earning him the enmity of the magical world. It turned out that the escape I sought in the world of fantasy kicked me out back to reality. You could put an overlay of the entire Harry Potter corpus on top of our new reality and see little difference. Death, fear, denial, and blame flourish. But so does courage, and most importantly, love. We are now going into breakout groups to share with one another how we are coping with our fears, where we find courage, and how have we experienced love or given love in what is an unimaginable time. It's time to extinguish our chalice, and I'm sure you've all got the words memorized. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now for some closing words. Many of you have discovered the poetry of Lynn Ungar. Lynn is the former minister of basically a worldwide UU fellowship that everybody could join. She's now moved on to other things for the UU, but I want to offer this prayer or poem. It's entitled In the Dark. Aga Biga. It was a word, my friend explained, known only to her friends and siblings. It didn't even quite have a meaning. It was something that you said in the dark to find out if anyone else was awake. Aga Biga, the tiniest of flares sent up to find out whether you were quite as alone as you felt. A short wave signal pushed out in search of a receiver, the wave of an invisible hand. Aga Biga. It's so dark and quiet. I can't see you, can't touch you. It is possible that nonetheless, you are still there. And my final benediction is by Eric Williams. We all emerge from dwell within, are transformed by, and called back to love. May your mind be humbled before this mystery. May your heart grow hopeful by it. May you be sustained by this love always. So thank you all and have a good week. Be sure to wash your hands, stay in your bubble, and be kind. Love you all.